back to another episode of
Two Peas in a Podcast. My name is Allie.
My name is Marley.
And today's topic is about
civil rights activist Jane Addams. For the people who don't know, Jane Addams was born on September 6, 1860 in Cedarville, Illinois. She graduated as valedictorian from Rockford Female Seminary in 1881. She received her bachelor's degree after the school became Rockford College, and she passed away on May 21st, 1935 in Chicago at the age of 74.
During her childhood, she also experienced tuberculosis that caused multiple downsides to her life. She ended up having trouble walking as well as sitting. Because of this difficulty with her health, she faced multiple obstacles, but made 3.
What would a German want?
These included her mental health, as her mother had died at an early age that caused her to have tremendous depression. She also struggled emotionally because of her condition with tuberculosis. Lastly, she had difficulty with chronic pain in her back because of her condition. She did live a privileged life by her father's business and him being friends with Abraham Lincoln. She graduated as valedictorian from Rockford Female Seminary. She had a partnership with Ida B. Wells that encouraged her to be a civil rights activist.
On top of working with Ida B. Wells, she also worked with other people in organizations such as Hull House, Elena Gates, Florence Kelly, and Julia Lathrop.
Could you elaborate on the Hull House?
Yeah, the Hull House was founded on September 18th, 1889 at 800 South Halsted Street, Chicago. Addams was inspired by the Tony B. Hall in London, which she visited in 1888. She saw something like this for Chicago to support poor urban communities in the U.S. Its mission was to offer education, cultural, and social services to immigrants and the working poor, while promoting civic engagement and reform. She founded Hull House, where she worked with Ellen Gates. She was the co-founder and lifelong friend of hers.
What did she help with?
She helped with education and artistic programs there. Another model was Florence Kelly, who lived in Hull House with Jane and led campaigns against child labor and for minimum wage laws. Lastly is Julia Lathrop, who was the first director of the U.S. Children's Bureau. She worked with Jane on a child welfare and juvenile justice reform.
What freedoms did she give up?
Good question. Although Jane loved what she was doing, she had to give up some of her freedoms in order to achieve these goals.
What are those main freedoms?
She gave up comfort, social prestige, and traditional roles to pursue her mission. She chose to stay and live in Hull House instead of her own home. Here, she was exposed to hardship, illness, and overcrowding. Her daily life was consumed by community work, leaving little time for personal matters.
What did she challenge?
She challenged political and economical systems, which led to hate mail, backlash, risked her reputation, and resistance for male-dominated fields. She also took risks of being in hostile environments where she talked about controversial topics such as racism, child labor, war, and women's suffrage. During this time, supporting immigrants was seen as a threat to the United States, as well as a threat to national identity.
You're going to homework with women's suffrage at what?
Yeah, this topic is really important to cover. Her support of women's suffrage was seen as controversial because she challenged the generals of the time and defined these norms from male politicians and business leaders. She committed to herself to public service rather than marriage and motherhood. Motherhood and marriage at the time was the role of women. If you were in either of those, you were supposedly missing out. With that being said, you can consider her a feminist.
The specific action, going off what Marley said, was the Hull House, and saw the need for child protection. She created the nation's first juvenile court and a law to end child labor. She was also a strong advocate for women's rights and sponsored legislation for an 8-hour workday. She pushed for a law to inspect factories and ensure safe working conditions. She also provided immigrants with jobs, English classes, and other services.
How were her ideas spread?
Her ideas spread through the settlement house movement, which is Hull House. She established a model settlement house, spreading the concept of community-based social reform. She also did public speaking and writing, which communicated her ideas through lectures, articles, and books, reaching wide audiences. She was an activist and advocacy, like child labor laws and suffrage, influencing policy. She was also networking, which she collaborated with diverse groups to amplify her message and impact. She was recognized a lot, just like the Nobel Peace Prize that brought further attention to her work. How did her work affect legislation?
Her advocacy for child labor and protection helped implement the Illinois Factory Act. This restricted child labor and mandated factory inspections. She also helped establish the juvenile court system that wanted to ensure rehabilitation over punishment. She also advocated for women's suffrage, where she was the vice president of the National American Women's Suffrage Association and helped build public support.
Her work seems very influential. How did her work affect the now?
Her work made a huge impact on professions, legislation, and shaping things. Her work helped establish social work as a respected profession, influenced legislation on child labor, sanitation, juvenile justice, and education. She helped shape the progressive era by pushing the government to address things like poverty, inequality, and urban challenges. Her significant contributions and actions for the women's suffrage movement helped secure the 19th Amendment. Her inclusivity with the Whole House laid the groundwork for multicultural education and community-based reform.
All this work to get such great end results. She must have gotten awarded something.
It really was. She was the first woman to be awarded the Nobel Peace Prize in 1931.
How are their achievements still relevant to today?
Her achievements are still relevant today through community organization and social work. Her work with Hull House established a model for community-based social services. Like progressive causes like child labor laws, women's suffrage, and immigrant rights, was an advocacy for social justice. Peace and conflict resolution. Her ideas and advocacy for international cooperation continue to inspire peace movements. She believed in the power of education and empowerment to uplift individuals and communities for education and empowerment. That's all for today. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on future episodes, as well as a big appreciation to Jane Addams for being an influential activist in our history. Bye! Valedictorian from Rockford Female Cemetery.
All right.
Graduated.
As valedictorian. Yeah, the one.